Advantage with Scott's Green Max. Well, the Florida Gators in their orange and blue debut, a 3-0 score so far, as the officially orange squad had a nice drive but had to settle for a field goal. In the mix there with the golf hat, that's Aubrey Hill, former Gator wide receiver, played on the Gators in the mid-90s and now has returned to the University of Florida to be the recruiting coordinator and receivers coach.
Won 3 SEC championships while he was here. Very talented wide receiver.
Pass is thrown incomplete, trying to get it to Jordan Reed. Josh Evans in on the coverage defensively for the defense.
A little miscommunication between the tight end, Josh Reed, and John Brantley. John throws the ball inside. He expects Reed to keep moving. And Larry, you got to understand that this is Jordan Reed's opportunity to learn to play tight end. So he's also learning new things.
John Brantley with his first completion, and then he goes back to Reed, and Reed knocks over a couple of guys. He barrels over Cody Riggs and gets a big pickup and a first down. Let's go down to the field with Brady.
Thank you, Larry. The orange and blue game every year means Florida athletes going into the Hall of Fame, and Mike Peterson, what an honor that must be for you to be in the University of Florida Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, such a great honor, just to be among some of the best, some of the Gator greats, man. It's the honor, and I know the ceremony was last night, but I'm still in awe, still in shock.
What are you up to nowadays? Still going on with the NFL?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna probably go back next year and sign back with Atlanta. I'm not sure as of now. I'm a free agent, so with the lockout and everything going on, I'm just training, keeping my body in shape, and and hopefully the lockout will be lifted and we'll go from there.
You played for an offensive coach. We got a new defensive head coach here at Florida. You like that?
Oh man, I like it. I like his intensity. I like everything I heard about it. I put all the faith in the athletic director, Mr. Foley. I had all the confidence he was gonna bring a great guy in, and I backed him, and I'm going with it.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, man.
Mike Peterson, one of the all-time greats, no doubt about it, Larry.
Absolutely, Brady. Tremendous linebacker for the Florida Gators from right up the road. Santa Fe High School in Alachua. A little swing pass to Rainey gains nothing.
And talking about Mike Peterson, I remember, they had a guy here by the name of Javon Curse that was just an outstanding player, and he made a mistake. He got hurt, and Mike Peterson got an opportunity, and Javon Curse couldn't get his job back. Eventually, Javon Curse had to move to defensive end. So it just shows you what a great athlete Mike Peterson was, that when he got his opportunity, he took full advantage of it.
Brantley finds Rainey again, and he goes forward for a first down just inside the 20-yard line. Other Hall of Fame inductees last night, Keith Tribble goes in as a distinguished letterman. Dr. Richard Shara posthumously inducted as an honorary letterman. Then Mike Peterson and Judd Davis for football. Mimosa McNerney, an outstanding swimmer for the Florida Gators. Michelle Freeman, very fast runner for track and field. Bob Emmerich in basketball. And women's tennis star Dawn Booth. Congratulations to all of the new inductees to the University of Florida Athletic Hall of Fame. Incomplete pass intended for Reed, broken up by Evans. And coming up as part of our halftime, well, underneath those covers are the statues celebrating the 3 Heisman Trophy winners from the University of Florida. And that'll be a special ceremony. It's interesting, they're showing it on video so they can bring the fans in the stadium into the unveiling, so they'll actually get to watch it on the big message boards, as you will get to watch it at home as well. Dominic Easley with a nice defensive play. Stuffed that one and drove it backwards, bringing up a third down and about 16 yards to go.
This is a drive that John Brantley has been on the money. If you look at his completion percentage during this scrimmage or this orange and blue game, it has not been that good, but John has thrown the ball exceptionally well. It's just been great coverage and the ability of the secondary to shake the ball loose.
If you're wondering about all the cheering, I believe number 15 may have made an appearance on the sidelines. Throwing the post pattern, 2 guys, and it's incomplete. And they're showing Tim now. There you go.
Right, Larry. What made it so perfect is Tim Tebow is walking through the end zone, and the ball is overthrown and it goes right to Tim Tebow and Danny Werfel, but Tim Tebow catches it and throws it back.
There you go. Tim Tebow, the 2007 Heisman Trophy winner. Played a role on 2 national championship squads for the Florida Gators, including the starter in the 2008 season. Danny, of course, won a national championship and a Heisman in '96, and is to this day the only quarterback to start and win 3 SEC championship games. That's pretty good. When you look at the quality of football in the conference, and Danny Werfel, among all of his others, that doesn't get talked about enough, but he started and won 3 SEC title games.
And I think, a lot of times you look at Danny Werfel, he wasn't a big fanfare, he was just a quiet guy that continually got it done. He had great receivers, a great crew around him, but he could make every throw when you had to have it. Some of those fade routes that Danny Werfel threw was just unbelievable. It looked like a long handoff.
The fade routes near the goal line and the corner routes at midfield, just threw those 2 about as well as you could ask anybody to throw them. So Danny Werfel in town for that unveiling that's coming up at halftime here, along with Tim Tebow, who just finished his first year with the Denver Broncos. And, of course, famous for the promise. There's Marquise Pouncey. Or is that Mike? One of them's under the towel. I'm going to have to check the tats to know which is which, sorry. But a couple of guys named Pouncey. Marcus Gilbert with the camouflage type looking hat. Marcus Gilbert's guy's been moving up some draft boards from what the things I've been looking at, possibly going as high as the 3rd round. Good for him.
And a guy that can play both guard and tackle.
Nice break on the ball, but unable to make the interception. For the defense was Moses Jenkins.
Moses Jenkins is able to make this play because the play is late. Robert Clark has him beat for a touchdown. This is the 2nd time that Tyler Murphy has had an open receiver and is just a little late delivering that football. He's got to anticipate that throw and have that ball in the air.
They'll try this time. Pressure gets to him, but they lay on, and he completes the pass to Robert Clark, who goes forward for about 8 yards before Leon Orr, doubling back, able to make the tackle.
And the reason you play on, Larry, I know you're also hung up on this defense. The reason you play on is because you're getting hit as a quarterback throwing the football. So you still get that throw off. You get used to the defenders coming around you and then making that kind of throw.
Oh, I think they should play on. I just think we got to have some way to give some props to the guys putting on the pressure. I think that was Dominic Easley who got in there that time. Give Leon Orr credit for the tackle on Murphy there on the short pickup, giving him a first down at the 42. And they're trying a 2-minute drill here with 1:11 to play until halftime. Murphy steps back, and that time they do call the sack. So give credit there. William Green. Go back down to the sidelines. They're getting ready to unveil those statues. It was funny yesterday, the 3 statues were on a trailer parked in the O'Connell Center lot while I was walking over. They had them wrapped up in so much bubble wrap and canvas and whatnot, you couldn't tell what was underneath. They didn't want anything to be shown, and I'm sure they kept people away from it when they were installing them on the pedestals. If you're wondering, those pedestals for these statues are right outside the west stands where the elevators are for the press entrance and the club seats and the skyboxes and all that. So when you come to the university campus, you'll be able to see them driving along Lemarand Drive. I joked with someone when they put them there, the chances of accidents on Lemarand Drive went up dramatically. There'll be people driving by taking photos with their phones and everything else, but it's really going to be great for Gator fans to come back and see those when they return to campus. You got to look at Dan Quinn and now Charlie Weiss, the 2 coordinators for the Florida Gators, and I would imagine the defensive coordinator in a somewhat better mood than the offensive coordinator as we near halftime in the 3-0 ball game.
3-3, 2 field goals.
Oh. I thought the other was just practice. There's a nice crossing route to Stephen Alley, and Alley takes it inside the 45-yard line before he's stopped by Jenkins.
Now, one of the things that Murphy has shown us is his ability to put the ball on the money. Now, when he can anticipate the throw and get it there early, that allows the receiver to catch the ball and be able to do something with it after the catch. That time, a nice square in by Alley and him hitting him right on the numbers in stride, which allowed him to run for another 6 or 7 yards.
Murphy spikes the ball to stop the clock at 44 seconds with the ball at the 44-yard line.
And Larry, this is good work. You know, it's hard to get that 2-minute drill live competition, and what's better than to have, 60,000, 55,000 fans here watching you, so you get that real feel of the game versus just practice.
Murphy calls signals at the line of scrimmage. Looking downfield, has to throw. It's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Cody Riggs off the deflection, so that stops that drive, and the defense makes the play.
That time Murphy tried to force it in. It was a real short pass, and really put a lot of heat on that throw, and it went through the hands of the intended receiver, which was number 20, Malcolm Jones, and it's intercepted by Riggs. There's another look at it. Just a lot of heat on that ball, tip ball. And how many times in the last couple of years have we seen the Gators around the football, tip balls, they come up with the interception. That's great coaching on the defensive side of the football, always being alert.
And give some credit to number 51, Michael Taylor. He's the one that put a little bit of a hit on Malcolm Jones as the ball got there, helping dislodge it and create the opportunity for Riggs to pick the pass off. 35 seconds. Let's see if Brantley and company can get something going offensively. Brantley steps up away from the rush, still running, and he'll go out of bounds after a pickup of about 8 yards. Josh Evans ended up chasing him out of bounds.
Good work for John Brantley. An opportunity to get that pass rush, because that's what you're going to get in a 2-minute drill. You're going to have everybody ears bent back, coming after you. You see him take a little side step, get outside, get as much as he can, gets out of bounds, stops the clock.
Brantley looks over for a play sign. 27 seconds, and probably need at least about 27 yards to have a reasonable field goal opportunity. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd and 2. Brantley under pressure, flag is thrown, and he'll throw it away. But we know what that flag's for. That's a guarantee it's going to be offensive holding.
77, penalties decline, we're down.
Now, in a real game, you would take the penalty, obviously. The down is not worth as much as the yardage at this stage, late in the half, but Will Muschamp just wanted to keep things moving. Will Muschamp grew up in Gainesville, left at about the age of 14, moved to Georgia, walked on to the University of Georgia, ended up becoming a co-captain of the Bulldog defense before beginning his coaching career as a grad assistant at Auburn. Nice throw and catch. Takes the ball inside the 40-yard line, going up and getting it, Quentin Dunbar.
Quentin Dunbar is a guy that, in talking with the coach, they're very impressed with the way he's worked this spring. And nice job that time by John Brantley handling another low snap. I mean, the Gators had problems with the quarterback center exchange last year in the shotgun, and look like they're still having some issues there.
Yeah. Again, you have your center right now, Jonathan Harrison, had not played center before. I mean, he's a third-year sophomore who had been a guard or tackle throughout the first 2 years he's been on campus. So there you see him, number 72, right in the middle of the line. Harrison being moved to center, and they're really pleased with the work he's done to this point. And I suspect those snaps will become more reliable in the future. There was a good one. Brantley under trouble. They're going to throw it as far as he can. Jump ball in the end zone, and it'll fall incomplete. And that will take us to halftime here at the annual Orange and Blue debut, presented by Scott's on Sun Sports. Not a lot of offense, no touchdowns in the first half of this spring football game. Just a couple of field goal tries, both of which were successful. And we'll see if the second half brings a little bit more scoring for the crowd here in Gainesville, as well as those of you watching throughout the state of Florida, or wherever you're tuned in to Sun Sports for the first viewing of the 2011 Florida football team in action. Let's go down to the field and Brady.
Larry, Will, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, we got good competition out there. Defense is a little far ahead because of numbers. We got a lot of offensive linemen going on both sides. We've had a good push up front defensively. Chris Rainey's made a couple nice plays. We had a couple opportunities down the field we missed. First play of the game with Dunbar, he's got to make that play, but we're doing fine.
What do you want to see in the second half?
Just good competition. I want good physical football. We're going to be a blue-collar, overachieving team. That's the mentality we want to buy into, and our kids understand that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Brady.
Back up to you, Larry.
All right, thank you very much, Brady. We are at the half of the annual Orange and Blue debut presented by Scott's here on Sun Sports. Gator fans getting ready for the unveiling of our halftime festivities here from the Swamp coming up.